Hello guys, welcome to Shadow Security Solutions. Myself Banu Prakash, and I will be the instructor today for this video. And in this video I will show you how to install VirtualBox and adding extension to it, and also how to install Kali Linux in VirtualBox with very low specifications and running it at higher rate of speed. I mean, at very low specifications it will run faster than normal virtual machine. So first of all, I'll tell you what is VirtualBox and what is VMware. These both are virtual development platforms, so you can run different types of operating systems in it. So VirtualBox is completely free and open source, so you can use all features of VirtualBox for free, but whereas VMware is somewhat paid, so you have to pay a single payment, I think $150. So after that you can avail all features of VMware. So today I will show you the free software VirtualBox. So to install VirtualBox you need to open your browser. So I'm opening here Microsoft Edge. So here simply type virtualbox.org. so open that website, virtualbox.org. After opening virtualbox.org, you will see this is the main page of virtualbox.org. VirtualBox main page. So in that, select downloads option. In downloads you will find some different versions of VirtualBox. So current version is 6.1.16 platform package. So here you can see different operating system. It's available for different operating systems. So mine is Windows. If you are OS X, your operating system is OS X, you can click here and you can download it. Mine Windows, so I'll simply click on that and I'll download it. Actually I already downloaded and installed the same version, 6.1.16, so I'm not downloading and not installing. Just I will show you how to install, that's it. So you have to download this one, and after that you need to download an extension package. So for that you can see here simply VirtualBox 6.1.16 Oracle VM VirtualBox extension pack. So simply click on all supported. This will supported by all platforms, so simply click on this and download this extension pack. So for that you need to just simply click on that, it will automatically downloads into your downloads folder. So after downloading this, these all things will come into your downloads. So you need to open your files, and in downloads you can see these both images. This is VirtualBox installation file, and this is the extension file. So simply click on this and you will get some instructions. After that, accept all permissions, next, and simply install it. The VirtualBox will be installed on your system. After installation you simply open VirtualBox and click on at the top left you will see file option. Simply click on that and go to preferences in that, and simply go to extensions, choose option extensions. Here mine already installed. If you are not installed any extension pack, you have to do simply click on this plus button, and then after just locate to your downloads folder or any folder that you had your extension file. Just simply double click on that extension file and install the extension file into your VirtualBox. This is the way we have to install a VirtualBox and adding extension pack to it. So now here I already installed Kali Linux, but I create another machine to show you how to install a Kali Linux machine or any machine. So I'm installing here Kali Linux. So simply I'm clicking on new. After clicking on new, just give the name Kali Linux. I already named one of the machine as Kali Linux, so I'll simply mention it as Kali Linux 2, and after that this is the machine folder, I mean the location where these all files will be stored. So if you want to change the location of these machine files, you have to simply change here. Whatever you want to choose, you can choose here. After that, this is Kali Linux is a Linux kernel based system, so it's simply Linux. After that, it's Debian distro. So you need to select Debian 64-bit. Mine is 64-bit. If you are using 32-bit, you have to select 32-bit. So I'll simply select Debian 64-bit. And next, this is RAM. Here you can give RAM, how much RAM you want to give for this virtual machine. So I'll simply give it as 1 GB, 1024 megabytes. After that, simply click on next, and it asking for hard disk. So you need to choose an hard disk. So it's asking for hard disk. So here it recommends just 8 GB, but I'm giving it 30 GB. So for that, before doing that, you need to select create option. Simply click on create option. Keep in mind, the dot should be on create a virtual hard disk now. So it should be on that. After that, you need to click on create. Then after, you have to choose hard disk file type. So you need to choose VDI, virtual disk image. So simply click on next. After that, it's automatically on dynamically allocated, so I don't want to give dynamically allocate, so I'll simply choose fixed size. Next, you need to give this hard disk how much you want to give. So I'll simply give 34 GB. So I'll simply choose option create. It may take some time, so be patient.
After specifying RAM and hard disk, then you need to add in Kali Linux image to the created new virtual machine. For that, you need to download a Kali Linux image from kalilinux.org. For that, you simply open your browser and open a new tab and simply type kali.org. In that website, you will find a Kali Linux image. You need to add that image to this virtual machine. So go to downloads in kalilinux.org website. Simply download this image. You can click directly on this, or you can download torrent, or you can use another option that is down side below on this website. So I'm simply clicking on this and downloading the Kali Linux installer 64-bit, because my Windows machine is 64-bit. So you can download this image from here. So I already downloaded the image. It's around 4.4 GB, and so I'm adding the image to it. So open settings, and in that, go to storage. After going to storage, here you can see there is an empty option. So you need to add the disk image to this. Yes, so simply click on the disk image. Here you can see, and click on that. After clicking on that, you can see these options. So you can already added in previous machine, that's why you see these links. So I want to add a new image, that's why I'm going to this option, and I'll choose this option and I'll open. So here you can see I had many versions of Kali Linux. So I'll simply click on 2020.3 version, because I already installed 2020.4 version. So all are same. The installation procedure is same for every machine. So I'll simply click on 2020.3 machine, and I'll install that machine. So I'm clicking on this, and I'll simply open. So now it's added. After that, I'll go to this option below, and I'll click on these two options. By clicking on these two options, if you are using HDD also, it will work as solid state drive, I mean SSD. So simply click on these two options. So your virtual machines may work little bit faster because solid state drive is faster than HDD. I mean SSD is faster than HDD. So I'll simply click on that both options and I'll click OK, and now I'll start the virtual machine by simply clicking on this arrow button, or you can directly double click on that virtual machine. It will automatically starts. So now it's starting. So here you can see, so there are two options, install and graphical install. Graphical install means you can use your mouse to select options, but in install you didn't find that option. I mean you don't get any mouse options. So by clicking on graphical install you can simply install Kali Linux. So I'll go with the graphical install because it should it is very simple to use. So I'll use graphical install option. If you want to install direct, using install option, you can install. Both are same, but there is a little difference, the mouse, that's it. So I'll go with the graphical install. So I'll simply click on that. It's booting now. So after this you will get some options like this. You need to select language, whatever you want to select you can select from here. So I'm simply selecting English, and now United States. So whatever wish you want to select from the region you can select here. So also same. So it's ready now. So it's loading. So be patient while installing this. It may take around 40 to 50 minutes. So be patient until it install. Don't press any keys while it's installing anything. Okay. So it's configuring all things like network adapter and everything. So now. So here you can see it's asking for the username. Now you can give whatever you want to give here. I'll simply go with Kali, and domain name simply I'll give empty. Automatically it will give some name. So I'm giving. So it's asking. So it's asking for username. So simply give a username. I already given a username, so somebody is using that username. So I'll again restart the process. I'll give another name, another username. So I think what should I give? I'll give Basha. It's better. I think no one is using that username. Yeah, no one is using. Now it's ready. So and then after you need to give a password. Always prefer a password with capital letter, small letter, numbers and symbols. So I'm using both 4 characters here. So enter on upside and downside both and confirm it. Okay, it's starting. So you get this menu. After this simply go with continue. Then after you need to give disk partition. I'm going with manual option and come to this option. Just select this option and whatever the disk partition you want to give you can give here. Whatever the disk I allocated you can see here. So simply go to S option and continue. Okay, select S option and continue to create new virtual free of space partition. So I'll select S and to continue. So now here you can see it's completely free space. So whatever you want to allocate to different points you can allocate here. So first I'll allocate to base directory, I mean root directory. So you whatever you want to give, you can give here. So I'll give 20 GB for base directory. Mount point should be base directory. So I'm giving. So it's a primary. Simply select primary option and do continue. Okay, and beginning. Here you need to select beginning, and here you can see the mount point is base, I mean root directory, and the ext4 storage it's taking. So simply go to done partition and continue, do continue. Okay, it's okay now. So simply do continue. After this, you want to give for other directories, you can also give. I'm giving some disk partition to home directory also. If you want to give, you can give, or else you can leave that. So I'm giving home direct. I'm giving a 10 GB disk partition to my home directory. The mount point will be the home directory. So I'm selecting 10 GB, and it's also primary. So at the beginning, and here below you can see it's home now. At the beginning you seen its root, but here it's different. So I'm going with done partition, and I'll simply go continue. So simply do continue, and here you can see again there is a 6.5 GB space available to free space available to me. So I'll give it to swap area. What is swap area? Swap area is a free area in Linux machine which is used to when the main OS is not allocating its RAM to virtual machine, they may crash. So here when we give swap area, what the Linux machine do means it will use this swap area as a RAM, and it will continue the process, and it will stop the crashes of operating system. So by this swap area you can avoid these type of virtual machine crashes. Okay, a lot of the virtual machines are crashed due to RAM allocation. So by giving this swap area you can avoid the these type of mistakes. Okay, I mean these types of errors. You know, at the learning stage my Linux machines are crashed. After I known after that I know this swap area, about this swap area, I used this swap area to avoid those crashes. So you can use this option to avoid the crashes. Okay, so after giving and selecting swap area option, simply go to done partition and simply do continue. Okay, so I'm going here and I'll do continue, and the partition is now done. So I'll finish the partitioning and I'll go with continue. So here you can see all the partition, and I'll go to yes and I'll do continue. All the allocation here you can see the disk I allocated. So I'll simply go with continue. Okay, and it may take some time to install the things, so it will ask to it will ask for desktop environment. I think so. It will ask. If it asks, you need to give a desktop environment for it. I'll use GNOME because it's very simple to use. So if it asks for any desktop environments, I'll choose GNOME. Okay, so it may take some time, so please be patient. Don't press any keys while it's installing some modules. Yeah, here you can see now it's asking for desktop environment. So I'll simply check this GNOME box also, and I'll do continue. So you can simply go to there and select that option and do continue. Okay, so it's installing all the GNOME packages as well as the tools that we required, and some of the Kali Linux tools like AirCrackNG, Python 3, everything. So it's asking for desktop environment. I'll go with the GDM3. I'll simply select GDM3 and do continue again. So here you can see it's installed now. Okay, so it asking for bootloader, so simply go with the S option. Grub bootloader is used by Linux, so I'll simply keep on S option and I'll do continue. Here you need to go to this option because you given a disk partition, so you need to go below this and simply click on that and do continue. Okay, so it install grub also. After the installation of grub, your Kali Linux will be restarted. Okay, and you can avail all the features of Kali Linux. So it's installing grub. So this is the way you can install Kali Linux. The installation is completed now. You can simply go with continue option. Okay, after this you continue. After this option, the Kali Linux is installed on your virtual device. Okay, so it's starting now. Here you can see the virtual machine is started now. So for booting it may take some time, so be patient. And after this it will ask you to enter the password for the username you created. I created Basha, that's why it's Basha here. So go with continue and enter the password for Basha. So I'm entering the password for the user Basha. Make sure that your caps lock is on if you keep numbers as password. Okay, so if you face this problem, the size of the screen is very less, and here you can see there is a lot of empty space besides this virtual machine. You can increase this by simply go to view settings. In that view settings you will find an option called auto resize guest display. Okay, auto resize guest display. So in full screen view also it's not getting, so I'll simply go with that option. So I'll go to view option. First of all, you need to do one simply thing, that is everything looks good but the display size, the screen size is very less, right? So I'll do one thing. I'll simply go to view option, and here I'll see auto resize guest display. It's not activated, so I'll go to devices and this last option, insert. So I'll simply, after that clicking that option, I'll get this. So in this, simply open your terminal by right clicking and open terminal option. So you need to run this additional, VirtualBox guest additions auto run script file. For that you need to check for that file, is there any file like that. So here you can see auto run.sh. if it has execution permission, you can directly go with the installation option. If not, you need to give execution permission by simply chmod +x and auto run.sh. So there is two options to install this file. So one is // and auto run.sh. or else you can do sh space and autorun.sh. so by this command also you can run or install this file. So simply run that command while running. So ask for password, simply give your password here and just do authenticate. Okay, so it may take some time. Simply give yes permission and do continue. So press any key. So I'll do simply enter. So after this, power off your machine and restart your machine. Okay, so simply go to the top right and power off your machine or restart your machine. Any option you can choose. I'll go with power off and I'll restart the machine again. Enter the password for Basha. Still you will not get the last display. Simply go to the here and here you can see this option is now active. So simply click on that. Once you click on that, your screen size will be maximized. Okay, here you can see my screen is maximized now. So this is the way you can use Kali Linux and how to install and how to minimize and maximize your display. Simply go to full screen option. You can complete full screen the screen. So I am power offing the machine now. Okay, thanks for watching and please do subscribe to our channel Shadow Security Solution and please follow our blogs and posts. Thank you.